this experiment, we're going to be comparing the amount of energy that we get from two different fuels. I've got two alcohols, ethanol and propanol. We're going to do the experiment first of all with ethanol, and then we'll repeat the experiment and you'll be able to take some of the readings yourself. So this is the setup that I'm going to use. I have a cylinder that I can put over my ethanol burner, and I've got a copper can that I've got some water in, and I can take the temperature of the water, and that will all sit there over the top of my ethanol burner. Now the first job is to weigh this and see exactly what the mass of ethanol is. So you might like to write that down on your worksheet, 13.90, 13.89. You decide what you want to write down. And I'm going to take the starting temperature of my water. I think it's at 21 degrees C. See if you agree with me. Okay, stop there. Okay, I'm going to light the burner. Put it under my copper can. So I need to try to aim for a 10-degree temperature rise. And I've used a copper can here quite deliberately because I want the heat to transfer from the ethanol burning into the water. So in some of the experiments I've done before, I've been using a polystyrene cup, but that's where I want the heat to be contained in the reaction. This time the reaction is in the burner, burning, and I want the heat to be transferred to the water. So I need a really good conductor to conduct that heat energy through into my water. I hope you can see that the temperature is starting to go up on my thermometer. What I need to do is stir the water to make sure that heat energy is distributed really evenly through all the water. Getting near the point where I want to blow out the burner now. Okay, I think we're about there. Okay, I'm now going to put this little glass hat back over my burner again, and that makes sure that no ethanol is going to evaporate from that while I carry on taking the temperature here. And this is really important because there's still going to be some heat energy in that copper can that hasn't been transferred into the water yet. So I need to try to make sure I get the maximum temperature rise possible. At the moment I think it's on 32 degrees. I'm going to keep stirring this for a little while and see whether it goes up any more from that, or that really is my maximum temperature. I don't think the temperature has gone up any more, so I'm pretty confident that that's my maximum temperature. I'm reading it as 32 degrees. I hope you agree with me. What we're going to do now is to weigh our ethanol burner again and check the final mass. .62. So I'm going to record that on my data sheet, and then I'll explain to you how we do the calculation. You can see I've recorded the data from this first experiment on my worksheet here. So I've got the start mass and the final mass of my ethanol. I've also got the start temperature and the highest temperature that I saw the water get to. I've recorded both of those. Now I should be able to use those pieces of data to calculate a temperature rise, which I can fill in that column, and the mass of fuel that was burnt, which I can fill in this column. And the final piece of data I haven't spoken to you about yet is this. This is the mass of water that was in my copper can. Now, Water is very helpful to us because 1 centimetre cubed of water weighs 1 gram. Now I know I put 100 centimetres cubed of water into my copper can, so I know it's going to be 100 grams of water in there as well. And we'll be using that piece of information later on with our calculation. We're now going to repeat the experiment using propanol, which is another alcohol. So I'm going to use 100 grams of water again for that second experiment. And we're going to have a look at some of the data, and I want to see if you can record it for yourself from the film. So the first thing to do is to try to record the start temperature of the water. Got it? Perfect. Then we need to record the starting mass of the burner. Okay, I'm going to ignite my propanol burner now. And I shall aim again for about a 10-degree temperature rise. So while I'm doing this bit, I want you to try to remember a few things about this experiment. Why have I got holes pierced in this grey cylinder here? Why am I using a copper can, not a polystyrene cup? Why am I stirring the water? I also want you to think about why I need to carry on stirring the water and taking the temperature even after I've blown out the burner. See if you can remember why I have to put the glass hat on the spirit burner. And we're going to try to see what the maximum temperature is that we can record. Okay, I'm pretty confident that's not going up anymore. I hope you've been able to take a good reading from that screen. Now I'm going to weigh the burner again and find the final mass. Let's record that data on our worksheets. Just in case you weren't able to record the data from the screen, this is the data that I recorded from the experiment. You might like to jot that down yourself. I just wanted to show you this. I started putting the apparatus away, and there's an awful lot of soot that's collected on the bottom of this copper can. You might like to have a think about where that carbon has come from and whether that might affect the accuracy of our results.